the Hubble telescope recorded this spectacular event. These images, beginning at lower right, chronicle the result of one such collision. Hubble began snapping pictures of the impact just 5 minutes after the collision. And you can just see the huge blast holes in the side of the gas giant, as large as the Earth. Okay? We're talking about things hitting the planet as big as the planet. The comet wasn't as big as the U.S. I'm going from memory on this. That's why I pulled it up. But I believe some of the chunks were like 40, 50, 60 miles across. There were 5 major chunks. This says that there were 21 total chunks. Remember, there were 5 giant blast holes. So the comet chunks weren't as big as the Earth. It's blast holes. The explosions were as big as planet Earth. Now, no amount of carbon taxes are going to fix that. This is climate change. When a chunk of a comet hits your planet, or when a comet hits your planet, or when some 10-mile across asteroid. You know what a 10-mile across asteroid would do if, say, it hit in the Gulf of Mexico again, like one of the bigger ones they're aware of? Hit just below the Gulf of Mexico in the Caribbean. It rained rocks thousands of miles, blackened out the surface of the Earth to a twilight-like level for decades. Now, how's Al Gore going to save you from that? See, they're busy getting you ready for all these carbon taxes and taxes on cows and sheep and poultry and everything you do, and regulators running your life and shutting down factories and banning old cars. Has nothing to do with it. Your cars are nothing. We are nothing. We are tiny. We're on a tiny planet. Meanwhile, all over the globe, volcanoes are going crazy. All over the planet, volcanoes are erupting or getting ready to erupt. There are earthquakes going off all over the world. Remember the tsunami caused by an earthquake and a volcanic explosion. What was it, 800 miles off the coast of the nearest country it hit, and then a 60-foot wave just came in and just killed everybody. Came in and covered whole island nations. This is what humanity goes through. Remember Pompeii? What it did to multiple cities, killing everybody in it? They dug up the skeletons. They were covered with lava and hot ash. And in seconds, they were superheated and their skulls popped like eggs. But they tell the public, we've got to stop climate change. The Earth got 1 degree hotter in the last 30 years, and cars did it. When every study shows one big volcano going off more than all of human activity ever. And I know I keep repeating that because it's so asinine, what they claim with global warming being man-made when it has nothing to do with us. Nothing. So, there's a volcano becoming active, starting to erupt in Alaska. This is how stupid the mainstream media thinks the public is. 3 years ago, they first showed polar bears on ice floes and said the polar bears were going to die because they can't swim and that they'd gotten stuck on ice floes. When they've been recorded to swim up to 300 miles, they like to swim 100 miles. Polar bears routinely swim. During the warm season, they go out to the ice packs and they hunt beluga whale and seal, and they're so strong. Most vicious land animal, pound for pound. I mean, they just kill a grizzly bear in seconds. Polar bears will reach in and haul in a 2,000-pound beluga with one arm. Bam! Just drag the whale up and eat it. They go out and they hunt on ice packs. Their population in North America alone, not counting in the other hemisphere, because they live in the north as well, in Russia and northern Europe. Their population went from 35,000 to over 41,000 in the last decade. They don't care. They're listing it as endangered and threatened and saying they've got to stop development in Alaska and Canada for the stinking things. When they're running around, stealing people's garbage, running around the neighborhoods now, they won't allow the locals to kill them anymore. So I've seen shows where in one little town in Canada, they some days capture as many as 8 in these cages and then fly them hundreds of miles away and dump them out. And they're not scared anymore, so now they're starting to kill people. because it's endangered. It's threatened. There's no more polar bears. They can't swim. They think you're so stupid. They tell you polar bears can't swim. And I see children's books and children's textbooks and children's TV shows where every time I turn television on, I watch TV like once a week. And every time I try to find something my children can watch on Animal Planet, they go, look at the poor polar bears. They're all dying because the ice is melting and they don't have a habitat. And it's all over for them because they can't swim. They insult your intelligence every single day. Hey, what if these volcanoes all over Alaska and Canada start erupting like they're doing in Northern Europe right now, like they're doing in Iceland, like they're doing in other places? What's going to happen if the volcano kills polar bears? Are we going to ban? Maybe we'll have a tax. Maybe you can pay a tax. It's like protection money. It's like we're ignorant superstitious savages or something, and the witch doctor would stand up, no matter if it was in ancient Europe or Asia or Africa or Latin America, and say, you give me the biggest hut, you give me the biggest palace, you give me the best food, or I won't let the sun come back next week. He would know that an eclipse was coming. His family would pass down that knowledge, and they'd say, yes, sir, we'll do whatever you say, just make the sun come back. See how that works? That's a mind trick. That's a parlor trick. That's where all this superstition comes from. Well, they do the same thing today. The earth is going to flood and everybody's going to die if we don't tax people. In all these decades, they hyped global warming, and I told you it was all about a tax because their internal documents said it was about getting you ready to accept a global tax paid to the global bank. And now they admit it. I had Rothschild on, remember, a year and a half ago, and he goes, there's no tax being planned. And I said, yes, there is. And now they're proposing the taxes and ramming them down your throat. And cities all over the place are passing these global greenhouse gas emission taxes. And they're now saying they're going to tax all barnyard animals for their flatulence. And now they're proposing humans be taxed for our, well, for lack of a better word, our farts, ladies and gentlemen. So, I mean, polar bears can swim and your flatulence isn't causing a problem. And you don't have any real effect on this earth. There are two things that man is doing that could destroy the earth and destroy the ecosystem we have. And that's radical cross-species genetic engineering. Nothing's being done to even regulate or control that. And, of course, nuclear weapons. And then in that whole physics area, the fission fusion reactors, the CERN heavy colliders, that could destroy the earth. But is the elite worried about that? No, they're racing to build more giant reactors and more fission fusion chambers and creating artificial suns and creating artificial black holes. They've already created thousands of artificial black holes in laboratories. And they admit, well, CERN could make a really dangerous one, but it's a very low probability, we believe. So we're going to start colliding uranium and plutonium particles at light speed, slamming them into other blocks of uranium and plutonium and lead. Oh, but that's not a problem. Your cows going to the bathroom is. You going to the bathroom, that's the big threat. Your car putting out carbon dioxide that plants breathe. And I see TV ads saying, we're planting trees to clean the air of the toxic waste, carbon dioxide, that they breathe. All right, I'm going to come back and take your calls, but I just wanted to let you know that there's nothing the New World Order can do to stop it. If asteroids, well, I guess they could try to stop asteroids, but these volcanoes, they have no control over it. We'll be right back.